I'm truly delighted to report to you that CBS is experiencing a total ratings collapse after pro-Trump Bari Weiss turned the network basically into a mouthpiece for the Trump administration. You know, for years we've been told the same story, which is if you want to succeed in the media, you've got to move closer to Trump, become more MAGA. Trump's winning. He's doing everything great. This is what the right wingers would say. Stop challenging Republicans, appease the right, get close to Trump. CBS is running a real world experiment based on that theory, and the results are just so ugly. Here's the news. Under Bari Weiss, CBS News has gone under this sort of transformation where veteran journalists were pushed out. They shifted their editorial priorities to try to be more favorable to the Trump administration. A lot of longtime viewers of 60 Minutes and other shows noticed this is like getting very friendly to Trump. You're trying to make Trump look better. You're canceling or covering up or softening critical reporting about the Trump administration. And the numbers bear it out. CBS Evening News has been struggling. The problems are now hitting CBS Mornings. There's a new report that the mornings show saw a ratings decline after they fired 60 Minutes' Scott Pelley recently. Total viewership down 11% overnight in that critical 25 to 54 demographic, which is really the audience that's most valuable because advertisers care about it. That's who they want to sell to. That 25 to 54 group dropped by 28%. They lost nearly a third of their 25 to 54. And I believe that viewers are sending a message, and the message is we don't like this crap. This is not a good change. Now, by the way, this is happening as there is talk of Bari Weiss having a larger role at CNN in guiding programming. And what happened is they made these changes. They became more friendly to Trump and pro-MAGA and all this stuff. And the audience didn't go, wow, I love this. It's just so nice to hear great things about Donald Trump and Marco Rubio and Stephen Miller. They didn't want that. Nobody was sitting around going, you know what CBS could really use? We need a makeover that sucks up to Trump. The people who were watching watched because they liked it. And in comes Bari Weiss and management starts changing all of it. And a whole bunch of people said, I'm out of here. And I think that this is, as a media analysis story, there's a myth that if you move to the right, you unlock a new audience, that people will just show up because they'll go, now that they're not placating the far left, I like it. Why would hardcore MAGAs switch to CBS? If you're watching Fox News and you like it, presumably because you watch it, and then you hear, oh, CBS went pro-MAGA, why would you switch to it? You've already got Fox News, or you already have Newsmax or Rumble, you know, the entire pro-Trump media ecosystem that's been built for them, Mike Pillow TV, Lindell TV or whatever. And meanwhile, what CBS is doing, it's very low energy. They're chasing viewers that they're unlikely to win anyway, but they alienate the audience that they had. And it is like the worst business strategy that you can imagine, where you go, let me find a way to change what I'm doing, to lose my existing customers while failing to gain any new ones. And am I a bad person for admitting that I'm enjoying it? And I want to distinguish. I don't want to see reporters, producers, or staff members suffer. Even like Tony DeCopel, who I've met a couple of times and spoke, he's a very nice guy. And we could go, oh, well, he should quit in protest. Cool, fine. But the point is, I don't want individuals here to be suffering, but this is a very dark media environment. And one of the few signs that reality matters is that the viewers of CBS are voting with their remote controls or their mice and keyboards or their phones, right? Depending on where they're watching CBS, they're going, there's a change. I don't like the change. Therefore, I react by leaving. And it's an important message, I think, to send the executives as well, which is they may be convinced that the path to success in this environment is to appease Trumpism. And we've watched media companies become terrified of criticism from the right and start changing themselves in response. And so when we see the strategy fail, it's like a silver lining. It's this little shred of sunlight breaking through a very bleak landscape, suggesting there isn't infinite gullibility. There's a lot of gullibility, but it's not infinite gullibility. And there are consequences for abandoning your identity as a news channel, disrespecting the people who made you successful in the first place. And by that, I mean people like Scott Pelley and also the audience members. And I'm satisfied seeing this happen. I'm satisfied watching executives create controversy, push out respected journalists, and then discover, oh my God, our viewers are gone. And it's not good for CBS, but I would argue it's good for the broader principle that your audience matters. And it's a simple lesson of you've got to respect the audience. You don't grow by betraying your audience. I mean, listen, if you look, are there exceptions to this? I guess Dave Rubin, at some point in his trajectory, had a bigger audience when he left the left than when he was, I guess, like a co-host on the Young Turks. He did peak, but then look at where his channel is now, where the views are way down and it's all formulaic in some way. And I think, I've told the story of when a big radio executive came to me. He didn't say, sir, I was way younger and he didn't respect me that much, but out of curiosity, he said, would you just like become right wing if you knew that there was more money in it? And I said, no, that would be completely disingenuous. What I'm doing here is just being me and giving my opinion. People may like it, people may not. If I were to leave the left and become right wing, might I gain some right wing audience? Maybe, but that's a pretty damn saturated market already. Would there be interest in how this longtime leftist leave? Maybe, but what I would lose from the audience I've built way exceeds that. And you don't build trust, I don't think, by abandoning your identity. And you certainly don't solve a ratings problem by becoming this kind of watered down version of the outlets that already are dominating the pro-Trump market. CBS hasn't gone fully Fox News. They're sort of like milquetoast, lukewarm Fox News. It's not interesting to the Fox News people, and it's definitely not interesting to the historical CBS audience. So I love that it's happening. I love it. Am I a bad person? Let me know in a comment. Let me know in an email. If you're trying to get away from cigarettes or vaping, one of the first practical questions is what you replace them with, especially if you're not ready to eliminate nicotine immediately. Check out our sponsor, Zippix Nicotine Toothpicks. Zippix uses quality plant-derived nicotine with a very short list of ingredients. It gives you another option for managing nicotine with no smoke or vapor. Zippix comes in 6 flavors. There's 2 or 3 milligram options, lets you control the nicotine as compared to a cigarette or vape. They're also easy to use throughout the day and in places where smoking or vaping isn't allowed, or it would require you to step out conspicuously for a cigarette, which can cause other problems. Zippix also offers caffeine and B12 toothpicks if you're reducing nicotine altogether or don't even use it at all. If you're tired of cigarettes or vaping, try Zippix Nicotine Toothpicks and get 10% off your first order with code Pakman at zippixtoothpicks.com. The link is in the description. You must be 21 or older to order. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.